Hello, everyone, and welcome to another No Logic tournament race. We have game 3 between Malmo and MrByer, and Bye Bye Me reads Malmo's file name. I like it. We'll see what MrByer's is in a minute. I'm Chex Human, and I'm joined by Twin. Hello, Twin.
Hello, Chex. Thanks for letting me join you at such late notice.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you, Twin. I will check my audio one moment. Okay, all good.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, we're getting a name change.
I like that file name, Potion Buyer, like MrByer. Oh, that's so good. Let's hope the seed is a little bit kinder than their game 2. Game 2 was rough, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that's the way these tend to go. And I know swords were a problem for a while. We want to see more swords for MrByer because they're very helpful for quadrant glitches, which he's very good at. All right, our runners are off.
Okay.
Both are starting in Link's house.
It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Are they going to go same? Okay. It's not normal to see two of the same openers. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but Malmo and Buyer both like to check the Hylia Island, and then Hobo. And then I believe they both go to Ice Rod Cave. Oh no, MrByer, no.
What caused that?
The input went wrong before the splash that needs to go upwards. It looked like Buyer went left instead. So that causes a fake flipper, and well, it just doesn't activate the fake flipper. Instead, it's a splash into the transition, which causes a long splashback and doesn't get you to Hobo. All right, Malmo's already got the Swimmy G, a slope clip, and that takes her directly to Ice Rod Cave. She even has bombs to use to open the cave.
Yeah, you can set that up so you can swim directly into the cave without opening it, but it looks like she was just a little bit too low for that.
Right, she doesn't go for that lineup. And we'll see what MrByer does. MrByer's in a lineup that will position him directly into the cave entrance. Yep, there it is. And with a touch of the pit edge, swim state turns into standing state.
And we've got our first bottle in Waterfall Fairy. This is fantastic. First bottle 2 minutes in instead of an hour and 30 minutes in is such a lovely sight.
Right, that was the trouble for Malmo in the last round.
Yes.
That bottle was an Agate Tower, which was left alone. Castle Small Key is in the Sanctuary. MrByer is following in Malmo's footsteps, getting that bottle as well.
It even came filled with a free green potion, which means they can do, what is it, YBAs on subtiles? Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. Red-green YBAs.
I love learning this stuff. There's so much information, but doing comms with you experienced runners has really taught me a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Next up is Lost Woods for Malmo and MrByer as well. Oftentimes we see a lumberjack DMA or Death Mountain Ascent, so we'll often see MrByer climb up to Death Mountain from the lumberjack screen.
So if MrByer did that, would he do the Lost Woods checks first and then go back, or would he just skip?
Yeah.
Oh, looks like he goes up and around instead of coming in from the top and going down.
Yeah. And Malmo is playing the Brain Lord MSU 1 pack, which is a soundtrack I really dig. And I hadn't heard of that game until the MSU pack came out. And she created it. Oops. Malmo jumped downwards. I'm a little surprised she didn't try to move Link back upwards, because we can do that to retry. But playing it safe is very good, especially when dealing with edges of the screen, because that can lead to a hard lock.
Yeah, this game doesn't like Link touching the edges of certain screens.
Yeah.
And here's that DMA that you were talking about on MrByer's side.
Yeah.
Malmo just learned that Turtle Rock is green pendant, so the fire and ice rods may not be hard required this seed.
Yeah, that's right. And MrByer does a teleport to get a small key. Oh, I love how MrByer deals with this screen, using pause buffers to get a double crystal switch hit.
That was pretty nifty. I don't think I've seen that before.
Kern developed it quite a bit when playing Gerudo Exile, in which there are a lot of crystal switches to mess around with. A shovel is in Blind's Hut.
And MrByer's picked up a map for Meyer, so we'll have to wait until they get to the Dark World to do a map check. They might wait until they have a few more maps to do that. Meanwhile, Malmo hasn't found a whole lot of interest here in Kakariko. It's pretty dry so far.
Well, there we go. Cane of Samaria and Moon Pearl are in the well.
Oh,
The well
those
has
are
not
some-
run dry.
All right. Well worth that trip to Kakariko then. That red cane opens up a couple of transition corruptions that she can do. And that Moon Pearl just makes navigating the Dark World so much easier.
Yeah, the cane is the most flexible item in No Logic, used for a lot of different purposes. From navigating through the underworld to duplicating items. MrByer takes a death. Unfortunately, the dead rocks just wouldn't get out of the way.
Yeah. Oh, and the mirror in the back of the tavern for
Nice.
Malmo.
And we are not forgetting about Sick Kid today. Both runners have the bottle. Just 20 rupees there. right, second try, all good for MrByer. Oh, another bottle for Malmo in the library.
We love to see those bottles. Although we do have the mirror, which can replace a bottle in some instances.
Yes.
So we can do the mirror door corruptions instead of doing YBAs. But those potion bottles are super handy to have around.
MrByer found the big key of Eastern.
And he's going to take advantage of that broken camera that he got from jumping down off of Death Mountain to grab these rupees from the Houlihan room. Money's a lot more important in No Logic because of all the potions that you could potentially have to buy.
Right. It'll be interesting to see what kind of seed this turns out to be. Our runners are both adept at hook pushing, which is a very powerful way to move through the underworld. And we might see that depending on the items that we receive. Meanwhile, MrByer finds the flippers in the dam. Malmo is going to set up a quadrant glitch in desert. Getting hit near an edge in a certain direction sets up a broken transition, and transitions are bugged in the east-west direction here. And she can skip the key door and check right side.
Yep, unfortunately the items are invisible. So sorry, tracker. I believe that's is the other Tom today who's doing tracking.
Yeah, and I think out of habit, Malmo set up for a death warp, but could have mirrored. Unless she just wanted a health refill. Wow, a third bottle for MrByer.
And a sword.
And a sword.
In Moldorm Cave.
And I'm not sure if that's MrByer's second sword, or second bottle, rather. But that's the third one we know of.
That would be his second. The third one that we know of is in the library.
Oh yeah, in the library. Thank you. All right, MrByer pulls off a bomb juke, and MrByer is able to transition into King's Tomb and pick up its item. He'll also be leaving the hook shots at Shovel Spot. Wow.
Oh, good. We just need something to easily set Ancilla, I believe is what it is.
Yeah, to
like the powder or the lamp, right?
Yeah. Powder or lamp can set a high search index value, which is what the game uses to determine which Ancilla to replace. And now MrByer wants more resources and wants to pick up a maximum 20 bombs. And this is always good, especially if we have hook pushing abilities.
Mamo just picked up that dark key to pod. That's a cave state big key, isn't it?
That's right. I didn't see that. Yes, that is very good. That is always good to have in a no logic seed. MrByer doing a north moat clip to get to Aghanim's tower. Or escape. We'll see which one he goes into. He goes into Aga Tower. Alright. DMA for Malmo.
MrByer can only check the first chest here because he doesn't have any keys. Am I wrong?
That is probably what's going to happen. Byer also has a potential to use a red or green YBA to check the second chest immediately, but I don't know if we'll see that.
Okay. Meanwhile, Mamo's heading up the mountain here. She was able to get that DMA clip to work this time.
Yeah.
So we'll be seeing some of those checks that we saw from MrByer, but we'll be able to go to the East Death Mountain with that hook shot.
And MrByer leaves Agate Tower with the barrier still intact, of course. And fun fact, we avoid taking damage from that barrier by holding down. If we stop holding down, then we'll take damage from it.
That's interesting. MrByer's doing an early check of escape, probably to pick up the Hyrule Castle big key, which is also a cave state big key. Doesn't know that the pod big key is just right down there in Nagina's cave, waiting for him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Malmo, with a hook shot, is able to use a Hera pot to go through the dungeon.
Now, why didn't she want to kill Moldorm here? So wouldn't that allow for, like, crystal duping later?
Yeah, that's a good question. A couple of reasons. She can still dupe from other dungeons, even when Moldorm is alive, as long as she can defeat Moldorm at that time. And her weapons only fight her sword, so might just wait till later.
Okay.
Okay, time for a Turtle Rock climb for Malmo. Some wiggles allow Link to scale the mountainside. Oh no, MrByer has the fairy in a bottle. Wow, look at this information.
Oh, lots of information. We know all of our pendants already. Wow.
Including Mire and Pod pendants.
I did not have my no logic brain turned on, thinking that we had to have hookshot to get over here, and that we'd maybe get over here using it. But no, she just clipped over here. Not a big deal. Could have been done without it.
Oh yes. But this is what Malmo needs to check Hookshot Cave, of course.
Pod keys are useless. I don't think I've seen anybody clear pod using actual pod keys like ever in no logic.
Mushroom is here. Hookshot Cave for Malmo.
Mushroom could be good.
You're right. There's really no reason to use them in darkness if you have if you're going to clear it in cave state. The keys, at least one key, can be useful if going to another dungeon, but usually is not the case. It's funny with Malmo's mirror spam. For some reason, that block didn't get erased. What's next for Malmo? I don't know if she's done East Mountain, so I guess that's next.
Okay, yeah, this is what? Spiral Cave and then Paradox Cave?
Yeah.
Oh, she's taking advantage of that auto catch technology.
Yeah. That's right. I thought that bonking from the left always catches the fairy, but I'm probably wrong. Oh, the fire rod for MrByer in Back of Escape.
That's a good one. Because Fire Rod is still handy even if we don't have to go to Turtle Rock.
And yet another bottle. And MrByer, once he goes to library, if and when that happens, that would be the fourth bottle.
Seed being very generous today.
Yeah, it's got major glitch, all the major glitching items, except for lamp, which makes index setting much more convenient than any other item. The mushroom is also a possibility because it allows for fake powder.
I think this is our first uncle check, isn't it? I don't think Malmo's been here.
Correct. Quake is that uncle.
With...
okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, MrByer kind of messed up, which is not good. MrByer did a spin YBA by accident, and it looks like it may have been a crash, which is a little surprising. But
Okay, he still has the fire rod. That's good.
that's interesting. Yeah. And remind me which
That's because he took
area
a
that.
death warp. He found that in the back of Escape.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
took a death warp to get
And
out
then
of
the
there.
death warp. That's good. Okay, that's good. Right. So the reset made perfect sense. The first reason I said that I was thinking it's not good is that an accidental spin YBA will write data, and it could overwrite the big key chest of Swamp Palace or something like that. Not that we want to search that for that, but it's something that could happen. One of those chests, I don't remember which. Okay, MrByer gets a normal YBA, and this will take him to Thieves Town and Cave State. So he has the ability to open every key door with that Hyrule Castle big key, and being in Cave State allows him to open every key door.
I was going to ask why he didn't open the big chest, but he needs a hammer.
Yeah. So he walks up. Isn't he going to get a glitch here? Yeah, I'm not sure if MrByer knows or if he has forgotten. He simply needs to do a door dash, basically a key dash from the rock, the big block, that is, and he can hold right at the next room to avoid the stair glitch. I used to forget that a lot when I was starting off.
I love this bunny sprite. I'm not gonna lie. I love MrByer's bunny sprite. It's fantastic. Chef's kiss. 100%. Love it.
Makes me want some ice cream.
All right, where's Malmo off to now? Back into Hera, it looks like. Oh, MrByer's found a mail upgrade in Thieves Town, it looks like. Okay, this
his
is
chocolate link.
Here. Yeah, chocolate, my favorite.
Okay, Malmo's waiting out the worm. She does not want to chase it on left side. There she goes. Gets a poke for the final hit. A Berna Cane is at Noldorm. Alright, so MrByer is on a fake Dark World screen. And what I mean by that is we are not in the real Dark World because we never went through a world transition. And so we have the ability to check a Dark World screen for just this one screen. And if we didn't have Moon Pearl, then we could still do it. Regardless, we have the Moon Pearl. And MrByer is going back into Thieves Town and will be fighting blind, perhaps. And the fun thing about No Logic is we can never be too sure about how the routes will develop and what the runners will do.
Exactly. So it looks like Malmo is heading to Swamp from here.
Yes, it does. So she is going for a dash citrus clip. And she's got the lineup. She's got the pixel. Gets the teleport. Very good. And she is flooding the room so she can swim through it later. She has to mirror out from here because she doesn't have the hammer. And we'll see how she deals with that. Oh, the ice rod is in the attic for MrByer. And I think Malmo wants to be careful. I think she wants to save this key. And if she goes back to Swamp, she can use it to unlock the room that it takes her to and collect keys to open the front of Swamp.
Yeah, opening Swamp in No Logic is often this multi-step mess. And it makes my brain hurt thinking about it sometimes.
Yeah, and it's so easy to make mistakes and just do the wrong thing. Okay, MrByer took a fall on the moving floor, and it's pretty dangerous. So maybe we'll be farming for blind. Yeah. Good.
Meanwhile, Malmo did a diver down to get that flooded key, and it's gonna head upstairs and eventually unlock Swamp.
Yeah, I've noticed that bomb diver downs here can give us a stair glitch, and she did a block diver down, so I don't think we'll see that happen. Nope, I'm wrong. She gets the glitch. I'm not totally sure what movement makes that happen. A small key to thieves is in the first chest of Swamp.
Hooray, another useless key.
That's right.
Oh yeah, and since we have the mirror, we don't have to
Yes.
worry about wait. Oh, she's gonna go do Hype Cave first. Is that
Yes,
where she's
that's
going? Okay.
that's right. We have real Dark World access and can explore the Overworld. Oh my gosh, that bomb. There we go, second try. Okay, so MrByer, like I mentioned, was on a fake Dark World screen, and with a transition, we'll put Link back in real Light World.
Just with funny colors.
There we go. Yeah.
So I have a question. Can the sparkly projectile thingies from the blue cane be used to do that search index shenanigans, or no?
No, I don't believe so. Yeah, the glitch has something to do with how the game animates the powder or something. I'm not totally sure. And it, for some reason, is connected to the lamp. I'd like to reread that because it's so strange and peculiar to powder.
Okay, so with this many bottles, we can pretty much go anywhere. Right? Like, we can get to Ice Palace. Turtle Rock's no problem. We can get there wherever. Even though it's a pendant, we don't really want to go there.
Right. Oh, that's right. MrByer actually didn't have the pearl, but it didn't affect his route. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, like you're saying, we can do anything. And pearl itself gives access to anywhere that dungeons are open, basically. But yeah, with bottles, inter dungeon travel is definitely available. There is MrByer's mirror. Yeah, I forgot we have no glitches access to Argus from this point on for Malmo, so that's pretty interesting.
I think this will be the first time I've seen a non-death hole Argus
Yeah.
in the tournament that I've watched so far. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but of the races that I've watched, pretty sure this is the first, like, vanilla, I guess you could say, Argus.
Right.
Oh, gross, but Fighter Sword Argus? How many slashes does it take to kill those puffs?
It is pretty gross. It takes a double spin for each puff and 8 spins for Argus.
I don't know if I'd be doing this. I might wait until I had a better weapon, personally. I mean, it is a crystal, but I don't know.
Yeah, Malmo also has to be careful. In addition to it taking a long time. So she can't let herself get trapped by Argus. And she needs to time those sword spins well. If she wants to get doubles. At this point, she might go for singles. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like she's doing a pretty good job. She is, I believe, Oko, though.
She's actually not. I
Oh,
just
she's on
remembered
blue
that the blue mail. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the single heart of damage.
Okay.
Okay. And there's no way we can use any extra firepower on this boss. He's got to do the 8 spins. All right, so MrByer. What was it that was in Aegina's cave? Do you recall?
The pod big key.
The pod big key, that's right. And so MrByer doesn't care about that very much because he already has the Hyrule Castle big key for cave state access. And he's already explored caves as well.
If he wanted to, he could go kill Lammo. He's got the fire to do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need to push past or YBA past the big key door, I don't think. Does he have? Well, he might have to.
Well, I don't know if he has a big key.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was just thinking of that myself. I still working on the key logic here. My brain can only handle so much.
Quite all right.
Oh, Malmo did a funny auto walk thing.
Yeah, I love that.
What it's actually called is a funny auto walk thing, a FOT. Looks like she is gonna be swimming into Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, that's right. Here comes the Tam Swam. A slope clip in the opposite direction as the slope. So she's got to press up at the precise time and she's got it. And then she needs to dash, turn, and charge dash upwards. There we go. It's a bow. Nice. Getting rid of the fairy, also very good. Oh, just a good bee.
Yeah. Okay, looks like she'll be doing her escape checks, but I don't think there was anything in the front of escape. I think everything
Yeah.
she wants is in the back. And by everything, I mean the fire rod.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, Mr. Byers is in desert.
Oh, that was the
Oh.
fire rod?
No, Mr. Byers just did the quadrant glitch, I believe, in desert.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yes, that's right. Also clears that area. All right, so MrByer is in back of desert, so we'll see what the plan is here. Like you said, it could be a YBA. It would be a spin YBA either with a green or red potion or the mirror.
But you have to go into this next room before that will work, correct?
We have to go into this room if we want to preserve graphics. Yeah. Okay, MrByer is mirroring out. Interesting. Don't know why he did that.
Maybe he just thinks it's faster than walking back out? I'm not sure.
At this point, it's starting to look like it was an accident. Another possibility is that he wants the staircase transition. I'm not totally sure if that is meaningful. Okay, so we have corrupted graphics with the red YBA, red spin YBA, and we can generally see what's happening in the fight. This is the Landmo fight, for anyone who doesn't recognize it. And he's spamming Fire Rod, see if he can take him down, but if not, then he's using spins.
Oh, Malmo's doing Dark Cross, it looks like.
Yeah. So MrByer beat the boss. I could tell because something dropped. So he gets a prize.
I believe we know that it is a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And
we saw
Oh, go ahead.
We saw the whatever it was start to rise, just like a crystal will rise.
He does have to do a save and a quit and a reset to restore the graphics, though, which is why he did that. Doesn't look like Lamo dropped... Oh, did Lamo drop a sword? He's on Master Sword now. All right, there's another bottle for Malmo and the fire rod. Very glad that she got that. Professor Redger, there's been at least one NMG VRAM race that I can think of. It was, I can't remember who did it. Louis and one other person, but they did as much of the NMG run as possible in VRAM. Mamo's gonna do a YBA here in this Uncle Door to get to Thieves Town. Looks like she's having a little bit of trouble here. Meanwhile, MrByer is going into the Dark World and doing that map check. He has not found the map of Turtle Rock, and I don't think he's talked to Saha yet. Oh, we're getting a fake flute from MrByer. never mind. He accidentally... Did he accidentally use the potion? I missed it. Darn it. Memo's hooking those hearts to try to get the dupe glitch to fill up her health a little bit more. And then Mr. Malmo, oh my gosh, MrByer is just gonna do some of these East Death Mountain checks that we've already seen from Malmo. Trying to remember if she got anything over here. Oh shoot, where was Bo? Was it over here? Oh heck.
Pyramid Fairy.
Pyramid Fairy, thank you very much, checks.
Yeah, Bo will be a great advantage if yeah, it just is good time saver at Armos or going through Eastern to get there. So yeah, MrByer is probably not going to call go mode. As we can see, he is doing overworld checks.
With the mirror in hand, could Malmo have done LSD blind to make this just a little bit faster?
It's just a matter of pressing select.
Oh, okay.
Mirror not necessary.
I thought there was one with a mirror glitch. Maybe I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, there is one. It's like another thing that you can do to keep the door open.
All right, so both of them are on red mail now, and we don't really love red mail for no logic. Because there is, I guess with the mirror, there's not going to be as much death warping. So
another thing, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice having Moon Pearl and Mirror to avoid that kind of issue. And yeah, like I'm kind of getting what Malmo's doing now. I didn't fully realize it, but instead of taking blind back to the boss room in cave state, she is reloading the dungeon first, which is slightly slower, but is safer because you don't have to rely on the LSD blind trick.
Okay. Meanwhile, MrByer went from the mountain to the potion shop to the eastern screen.
Right, and that is... Say again?
I was just saying, in one fell swoop, it's no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the advantage of I mean, I think that's the plan. A combined do more overworld checks and get the information. And that's really what MrByer wanted. So Eastern's pretty interesting. He'll be clearing that out. Presumably doing Meyer as well. That's my guess.
He does know all of his pendant information now, so he does know that Meyer is a pendant. Doesn't mean that it won't have anything in there, but it's not as an attractive target.
Right. I didn't remember that. So, yeah, it's not going to be necessarily full cleared. Will be interesting to see what MrByer wants to do. And a blind fight for Malmo. With Fighter Sword, it is just the same as an NMG with just slightly less reach.
Yeah, you got to adjust just a little bit so that sword will hit.
Okay, MrByer's doing it. He's doing the quadrant glitch, which
I
is
haven't
a
seen
route
this one.
that he came up with. And so he's bugged the camera and the um, y-axis, or the in north-south direction, rather. And he needs to do a few screen transitions to get where he wants to go. That puts Link on the catwalk, and he can quickly check the big chest, the big key chest. And now he needs to correct the camera. So if he's done camera manipulation correctly, he'll be able to resync sprites. And there we go. There we go. We are back in business.
That was really nicely done. I hadn't
Yeah,
seen the quadrant glitch there before.
it was great. And it allows for a quick clear of all the items as long as you have the big key. MrByer does have mirror, so that is another option for a quick clear. And I couldn't really get, in my timing, I couldn't really get the quadrant glitch route to be faster than the mirror route, but it's going to be different for different people. And it's still pretty new to me. Okay, MrByer gets... okay, he goes for YBA, but doesn't get it. And it's just not that worth it. So it was kind of interesting. He was going for Meyer, but it's just not that worth it, essentially. It's not required.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
Malmo is in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
I remember
So
right.
after...
Oh, go ahead.
No, just since Malmo finished up Thieves Town, next up is Skull Woods.
I was going to say, I think Malmo is one of the people who call the front 4 checks in Skull Woods just part of the Overworld. But I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and MrByer did a DMD, and we'll see where he goes from here. Probably Skull Woods as well. Looks like a check of the bumper ledge first. Just a map. A sword for Malmo. That's really good. And it could be go mode for her. I'm not totally sure. My guess is that MrByer will find that as well, since he's still doing item searches. Okay, Malmo goes for a slash of the mummy, but the beams hit it cardinally, so it didn't get the spike damage. Oh no, I missed what happened to MrByer. He set up something, but I'm not sure what it was. Presumably he can go for North Samaria to open the big key chest in this room. Yeah, that's what he's going for. Okay. And Malmo defeats Mothula. We'll see what's next for her.
Oh, she has a sword now, too. Where did she get that one?
That one was back of Skull Woods. So I'm anticipating that MrByer will find that as well. Could be his tempered.
And with that other sword being on Lamo, Malmo should have tempered as well for the end.
Right. And can you remind me what location that is?
The boss had Desert Palace boss.
Oh
had
yeah,
sword.
at Landmo.
Mhm.
That's right. Okay, so not totally sure of MrByer's route here. The North Samaria is pretty cool, but I feel like it has kind of slowed him down a bit. But I think he's got something up his sleeve. He's doing another North Samaria, and okay, not quite what he wanted.
Oh, the front of Skullwood's not really paying off today. Where will Malmo go next?
So,
Just going to the
Mr.
fortune
Byers, North Samaria will allow him to leave the dungeon. I'm not quite sure. I guess, yeah, that's all he's going for. Just exiting with no keys. He still needs to go back. Did he not get the map chest? I think that's the plan here. Oh, we're turning in the mushroom. That's interesting. And
I thought
one
she was
reason,
just gonna buy potions.
yeah.
Forgot about that mushroom.
So, okay, she doesn't care about the mushroom. That's interesting.
She'll take that $20 refund though.
So, once again, Malmo does not have a way to set a high search index, and that's fine. That's not something she's going for right now. And yeah, I'll be curious to see how she clears the rest of these dungeons. Meanwhile, MrByer will be finding Tempered Sword in the back of Skullwoods. Nice Burna dash to get through the cannonball room.
That heart in the compass chest is dupable, correct? If they wanted to.
Right. We often see that if runners use a West Samaria in this room to help unlock the door. And so it's often duped as a side effect. And Mothula is down for MrByer.
And Malmo just choosing to walk back to the Armos Knights instead of... Isn't there a glitch to get back there?
Not right now. And that's because Malmo cannot hook push.
Okay, it's a hook push. I got you.
Yeah, YBAs and STCs take too much time to deal with these rooms. She has the advantage of the bow, which is pretty good. It puts her in a pretty dominant position in this race right now. So we'll see what's next for MrByer. I'm not quite sure. Probably more Overworld. Maybe he hasn't done Hype Cave. Things like that.
This could also be dig game into the Mire area, couldn't it?
Yeah, so MrByer is just determining the order of things. And we'll see what's next for Malmo, too. What else? Is it time for desert? Maybe?
Maybe she is heading in that direction. She'll be very happy if she does.
Yeah, especially before the other dungeons. Really, Ice Palace is all that's left.
Yeah, Ice Palace on Master Sword is not good. It's not impossible, but it's not good.
Okay, so there you go. Simply dash buffering allows Link to hop when dealing with a slope like that, and she can get past the rocks. All right, MrByer's just getting some extra resources here in the digging game. We'll see how Malmo goes for Landmo. With MrByer, we saw the VRAM Mo. Not sure what its nickname is, but we'll see what Malmo goes for. She is walking back from the next screen, which will potentially preserve graphics. I mean, it will if she goes for a green YBA or mirror YBA. There it is. Good. And here's Landmo.
I don't think MrByer even checked the pendant for Meyer.
The
medallion, I'm sorry. The medallion for Meyer.
There's really no reason to. Yeah, and we can visibly see the tempered sword.
Yeah, we can actually see the fight this time.
Yeah. Not sure what the sword slashes were about, but she probably realizes that her solution of getting a level 2 sword was a little bit unnecessary.
So how are we going to get to Ice Palace? Are we going to...
It could be a flipper's wrap.
Okay.
If they go from the Dark World Overworld.
It could also be a mirror wrap too, right?
Oh yeah, mirror wrap, of course.
Okay.
That's the classic all dungeons way to get there.
But there's also the YBAs in the well.
YBA from well.
Okay.
Malmo is doing a super drop. So we'll see her go to the very bottom of the Dark World map from here, which involves a quadruple screen wrap twice. And she'll go into Swamp Palace to reset her screen. Okay. Meanwhile, MrByer is doing an East Samaria and Desert, and I missed what troubles he's had to be a little bit stuck here, but basically he's trying to go to Swamp Palace, and we'll see how he deals with Swamp. He does get the East Samaria, and it also preserves a west transition. Excuse me. Let's watch Malmo carefully. Okay.
Yeah, she got that.
It is a little dangerous.
Yeah, you can. I believe it's a hard lock your game there if you go too high on that one screen.
So MrByer moves through Swamp Palace. It looks like the west transition is broken, but it is not. And he did a certain camera correction to allow west transitions to work, even though east ones will not work. So, but that's okay. The rest of Swamp Palace is available.
All right, so Malmo still does not have the hammer, so we're gonna have to do, what is it, a YBA to get down to Cold Stare?
Yeah, that will be a spin YBA. And if she has a blue, then it'll preserve graphics. Otherwise, it'll be Cold Square.
I love that name, Cold Square.
And she's skipping chests, so it's full on go mode for her.
Yeah, this was a much nicer seed than
nice fight.
The last one was for her.
And a nice fire rod kill for MrByer. Yeah, you are so right. The last seed saw saw problems just getting into the Dark World, and all of her final checks were one-offs, which is a pretty bad feeling and no logic, and other forms of randomizer, I guess. Oh, she's going for a red.
We get Cold Square. Let's go.
We even get a flute theme. That is so good. We even got the full theme too, which is funny.
All right, so after this, she just has to beat Agatu and Ganon. So we'll probably see a lava dive in Turtle Rock to get to Agatu. Do you think that'd be the fastest way to get there?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think that's very much the solution. The fastest solution. This looks like a standard clear of swamp for MrByer. I don't remember if he flooded the second pool. I guess we call it the first flood room. Oh no, he doesn't have a
forgot
key.
to unlock the front. Oops.
Right, so he would have trouble without a hammer as well, but no, he would not have trouble. Never mind. Because he's already fought Argus, he would probably just use a YBA to do the rest of Swamp, which is that he needs to collect the prize of Swamp. So he is in Hera now, and he wants to unlock Swamp. MrByer came up with a route that allows him to unlock Swamp. And I've only seen him do it. So this should be great. He's clearing out this area because he's aligning with the bumper in a specific way, and he's going to spin at the same time he touches the bumper. Looks like he got it quickly. I'm not sure what cue to look for to see that he got it, but looks good. He's going fourth. Meanwhile, yes, Malmo is going for a lava dive. It's just a north STC to mess up the camera transitions, and Link transitions to the middle of the lava chest and falls into the lava. And with a little bit of camera correction, we're in the Aghanim fight. Rainbow Aghanim and Rainbow Link. So with the broken transitions, MrByer is able to jump the ledges and pick up a pot key and re-jump. It's a pretty interesting route. I have no idea.
I've never seen this before. I love no logic and everything that you can do in it. It's so much fun.
It is quite peculiar. I'm not sure of the difficulty of the camera correction, so it's hard for me to tell whether he did it right or not. But that's it. Malmo is falling into Ganon. This is all that's left. So,
and with Tempered, it should be a fairly standard fight.
Yeah. Tempered Silverless.
I forgot about Rando Bats. She handled them very well, though.
Yeah. So we saw MrByer mirror, and I'm not sure if he got all the key doors unlocked that he wanted to. I guess we will find out. I think he did, but well, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know the route that well. Arrows in Thieves Town? Is that what I saw? Maybe I didn't see.
I was watching what MrByer was doing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So that would be the big chest, I suppose.
Oh, okay. If it was that, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I missed what the hang up was for MrByer, unfortunately. So he's not quite getting this the way he wants. I don't recall how Malmo was able to unlock Swamp.
I think she had a Hera key that she may have used, but I could be wrong.
All right, that's it. Ganon is down on Malmo's side, and she completes the seed in 1 hour and 4 minutes, which is amazing.
It's pretty fast.
I've never completed a seed this quickly.
So GG's to Malmo. We'll see what MrByer decides to do.
And MrByer has Kirby music, I believe. Welcome, Malmo, GG, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
How about that? 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 28 seconds on your timer.
I have no words. My best no logic time is 111, something like that, 112. So yeah, I would say the seed was pretty fast.
It just was flooded with bottles at the beginning, along with Kane and Moonpearl.
Imagine getting bottles.
Imagine. Yeah. Quite
just have
a contrast.
4. Can I send one of those bottles back in time to my other seed?
Right. By the way, what we're seeing on MrByer's side is an unlock of Swamp, and he's going for his quadrant glitch route, which didn't work out the first try. Not sure how it really operates. So, not sure what the trouble was, but regardless, he made it to the front. And you had the advantage of having the bow, which MrByer has not found.
MrByer is in trouble with Eastern. He can do the thing you did, all right?
Yeah.
Good luck.
The triple YVA.
The other bow's in Thieves Town Big Chest, by the way.
Yes, we saw that hint, and I wasn't sure if I read it too quickly or didn't read correctly, but yeah, that's the only chest left. Oh no, MrByer misses the YVA, but has more potions. There we go. So MrByer has already defeated Argus with an East Samaria from Desert, and now only needs to complete the dungeon. Ice is remaining, so I'm wondering if we'll see MrByer full clear ice to make Eastern easier, perhaps. So, what did you think about the sword placements, Malmo?
Oh god, where was my master? They were both in back of dungeons, right? One of them was Mothula. No, one of them was Lambo, and one of them was not Mothula, but the other one.
Yeah, bridge chest.
It was good. Good for me. I've gotten a lot more comfortable with low percent boss fights just from having to do them a lot. So I think having the willingness to go to Fighter Sword Moth helped me a lot. Didn't hurt that I had like 4 bottles with potions in them either. So I never
Yeah.
felt like I was in danger. I had red mail.
And we see a forfeit from MrByer, which ends the race, and maybe we'll have an interview. And yeah, congrats again on winning this series. Quite an exciting series of 3 games.
Yeah, I wish one of the games had been closer. It sounds like all 3 of these were kind of lopsided one way or another. But at least the seeds themselves were interesting.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to compete with 104 or 28. Like, that's. I got god routed in this one. Everything I did just worked out.
Yeah, Tam swam as part of it, with the pyramid fairy having the bow. And we're joined by MrByer, GG on the race. And
GG's.
I suspect that you really wanted a bow, or
or a lamp.
some way. Lamp, yeah.
Eastern was the only thing stopping me from proper go mode, so that's why I was still opening stuff. Where was
Right.
it?
So bow was in Pyramid Fairy.
Of course.
All that from Malmo, with an overworld clear and Tam swam.
We never did see the lamp though.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I was going to, after I did the Dark World map hit, I was going to fake flute to Pyramid just to get rid of my potion, but I didn't. That would have been so nice to have.
Do you think you could have done a hook push with a fake powder index if you had the mushroom?
Yeah, I probably could have.
I got the
I just
mushroom,
needed
but
a
I
way-
don't remember where it was.
I just needed a way to set index.
I don't remember. I'm wondering
What?
if it was Hookshot Cave.
Oh, it was. You're right. That sounds familiar. You might want to look into that thing where you like use a bomb wall. But I think you want a bow for that, so I'm not sure if that would have helped you in this seed.
Yeah, I have to look into that too, honestly. You get the proper setup without lamp.
Oops.
I think you might be able to do it with ice rod instead of bow. I've seen Todso do something like that, but I can't remember the details.
So,
I was just
a
happy
great
that I could-
series.
Oh, sorry, Chex.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm happy that I was able to kind of figure out where you were kind of going as you were doing it instead of waiting to figure out on some of these. So this has been a great.
Yeah,
great
this
source
is
of,
definitely.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's been great. There we go.
This was definitely like the scariest Oh No Go mode I've had. Even though I technically wasn't even in Go mode.
Well, there is the triple YBA
To
that
Armos?
Chucks did in the
I don't
last
think I know.
seed. Yeah, there's also this like Samaria YBA thing you can do in Turtle Rock. I can tell you, I don't know how to do either of those things, so you are not at a disadvantage for that knowledge. Just for
Okay.
not having the bow.
Yeah, it's like I can't hit Gomo too fast because I did promise to do EPQG, and this was actually a really the perfect setup for it. But I hit Gomo so fast that it was actually really hard to route that in because it wasn't really along the way of Crystal Dungeons other than Eastern, but I couldn't beat Eastern yet.
Yeah, good point. And your Oh No Go mode, was that at Landmo, or where did you
I think
feel
that
that
was
you could have completed the game?
Master Sword was on Lammo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still needed a bow, but after that, I probably would have been able to do it, especially with
Right.
it's just ice and swamp.
Yeah, and so can you walk me through the quadrant glitch a bit in Hera and how that should operate?
Okay, so you just get on the quadrant boundary on the upstairs area where the bumpers are, and it's just like the old method for pod quadrant glitch, where you select buffer into the bumper and release the spin when the bumper starts making a sound, and then that'll just arm quadrant glitch. And then after you arm it, you bring it down to swamp, and then if you take the left-right transition, it'll put you right where like the edge of the railing is, and you can jump down to where the key is, and then use that key to open the door.
And when you get the camera correction, can you then leave Swamp Palace?
I don't think so, because the left-right transitions are broke. So I had a better plan for Swamp, but I forgot that the front wasn't unlocked, so I had to do like a bunch of other stuff that probably was slower overall.
Right. And Malmo, can you remind me where you had a Hera small key from? Do you know?
Oh no,
Yeah,
no
that
idea.
was an advantage there.
I walked into Hera and I saw the one in my HUD. That's where I found the Hera small key.
Right.
That would have been that would have been a little awkward if I didn't have that. I would have had to go to pod. Imagine going to pod in this seed. Probably has the lamp in it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see a race without a pod clear.
I didn't touch any of the pendant dungeons or GT except to do Aga 2.
Right.
Wait, has the pod been the pendant every single seed?
For our races? Maybe.
Yeah.
Chex had one too in the last race. And he
Yeah.
found out by walking into pod and fixing his dungeon state and seeing the P in the corner.
Because like I really wanted to do like pod quadrant glitch, but between hitting go mode super fast and both pod and turtle rock being pendants, I couldn't really justify it.
You had the moon pearl. Why would you do pod quadrant glitch?
Exactly, that's part of hitting go mode so fast. Yeah, the pearl also makes that not really worth it.
It's almost certainly faster to just walk to Hookshot Cave. I got lucky going up the mountain. I actually soft locked on DMA. And that caused me to go to Kakariko instead and find literally everything. So when I went to the mountain, I had like mirror, pearl, hookshot. I could do all the mountain together. It was so nice.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't realize that it was a soft lock and during the DMA.
I got the thing where instead of going diagonal and wrapping your screen, you just like wrap vertically. And I think that puts you on a hard lock transition, so I just saved and quit out. It's possible that you can it's possible you can funny auto walk out of it, but I wasn't gonna try it then.
Gotcha. And any other final thoughts on the seed or the series? Or the tourney? I'm looking forward to the next round.
Do we know who each of you will be facing?
I will be facing Fox, Lisker, Wolfie, and they do their first game on Monday. So, yeah, I'm looking at those pretty closely. Both of them are pretty scary. I don't know much about Wolfie's capabilities, except that he has done one mind no logic with Krellball, and that terrifies me.
Wolfie's really good based on what I remember from League.
Yeah, Wolfie tends to do well in tournaments. I know he's known more for cross keys, and he's been playing since the dawn of time, so yeah. He's kind of like Purity Wong. Except I'm facing him in week 3 instead of week 1. Which is even scarier. Oh, MrByer is playing either Krithel or Tajso, and they're actually doing a match right now that's not on Restream.
And I've
Oh.
historically always lost to Krithel. And
Krithel's just really good.
and mostly to Tarso as well, so I'm also very worried.
I actually, yeah, I don't think any of the 4 racers we could go up against were I have a chance against outside of getting really lucky. So that'll be the end of my winners bracket probably, but at least I'll get to do another round. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Glad to see. We'll see more games from you as well. Hopefully we'll get to another game 3 so we can get all 6, because that would be awesome.
Well, thank you both for a great race. It was really fun calming with you, Twin, and thanks, Tom, for tracking.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join such late notice. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that'll wrap it up. So thanks, everyone, for watching. There will be more No Logic where this came from. Looking forward to the next week. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.